Man, listen to me. Stevie J was in the car with us when Big got brother. In the car behind us. I sold a chain that weekend to Stevie J that he didn't even pay me for the cross on it or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He gave me half the money. He took that same chain that I sold him, brother, and gave it to Faith the night that Big died, talking about he was giving it to Lil Chris. He didn't even own the chain at the time.
Diddy's been the party guy forever.
Yeah, no, facts.
Forever. Now, the music industry, not just Diddy, but the rich and famous, they love coming over to, this is their playground, is the music industry. Because the women singing are the highest trophies. The men rapping are the highest trophies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's other good-looking women out there, but they're not her who's selling, who the world is going crazy over. Rich people like to see, rich people don't really like women, you know, like this beautiful woman, like, but to them, they want somebody that the world yearns for. So they want stars. So the music industry now has been exposed because those rich, you don't think, forget about the artist who's on tapes. What about the politicians and the politicians' nieces and nephews and sons and brothers? Because everybody wants to go to a party.
Well, and let's remember, you're going to have at least one witness and probably a parade of witnesses of black females who are going to claim that they were victimized by Diddy. And so in order to give sort of a human face to that, maybe suggest that's not the case, that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the jury is finding cues in every piece of evidence, but also who's representing him. And if they just have a bunch of white folks sort of defending him, all those black female alleged victims maybe they're gonna look like they're being targeted by his high-priced legal team.
We're talking about Stevie J, the Grammy-winning producer, reality TV star, and longtime friend of Diddy, now caught in the middle of a storm. Why? Because Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, is spilling tea like never before, and according to him, Stevie J may have been doing some very questionable things at Diddy's infamous parties. Let's start with some background. For years, rumors have followed Sean Diddy comms, like a dark cloud secret parties, strange behavior lawsuits, and now it's all starting to come out. Over 100 lawsuits have hit Diddy, some about money, others way more disturbing. We're talking trafficking, racketeering. But the real plot twist, his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, is dropping bombs in interviews. This man saw everything, and he's naming names. One of those names, Stevie J.
Right now, we are live at the Sleazy J's event, pop-up event in Atlanta with the man himself, Mr. Stevie J. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yes. So you look amazing tonight, first of all.
I appreciate it.
You're all blinged out. You got the brooch, the ring. So how excited are you? I know this is a thing you've been working on. How excited are you to have this event tonight?
Well, it feels great to, finally have a dream come true, to open up pop-up parties for people to come and dance and have fun. And a lot of times people forget where I came from as far as musically, how many records I've sold, over 100 million records, and how many Grammys I have, and how many instruments I play. So tonight I wanted to show them.
I gotta ask you,
Okay.
Of course, the trial's coming up with Diddy.
Free the guy. Free the guy.
I know you said you think he's cleared of all charges. How you think it's gonna play out?
I mean, I didn't say that he's going to be cleared of all charges. I said let the court, dictate what it's going to be. But
you can't even say he's going to be cleared of all charges. Not even Stevie J can say that, honey.
I just feel it's a lot of it's just a lot of attached to it. You notice those 200 cases from that lawyer from, what's the guy, Busby or whatever?
Gene Deal has been making appearances on the Art of Dialogue and other platforms, telling the world what he saw while working with Diddy, and some of the things he said, man, they're shocking. He talked about the wild freak-off parties Diddy used to throw where nothing was off limits. Gene claims these parties weren't just industry fun, they were full-blown freak shows. And guess who was right in the middle of it? Stevie J. According to Gene, Stevie wasn't just a party guest. He was part of the setup, helping organize, entertain, and maybe even cover things up. He didn't say it directly, but he gave enough hints.
Okay, guys, the question you need to ask yourself is, when is Stevie J gonna start snitching? Because we all know that in the Lil Rod lawsuit, that was Stevie J in that video that was in that compromised situation with the white gentleman. You dig, on the video. So Stevie J was more like a play toy, like a You know, we all know he's been broke since Love and Hip Hop. He didn't have any money, and he just happened to be living at one of Diddy's residences when it got busted. So see, that was another one of Diddy's play to it. Like in the world, they called that a and they called that a bull. Stevie J is what you call a bull. He's the one that was doing the pitching while a lot of people was catching, including Puff Daddy, while it got filmed. You know, this is the way that Stevie J was paying his rent. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Stevie J is going to be a suspect or a witness. I'm willing to bet he's definitely going to be a witness. Have a good day.
And he indulging with Diddy like that, and now he's invited to the Diddy parties. In that whole thing, if you read it, he said that Diddy said he was having a relationship with Stevie J. So all I can say is this, man. If two men lay down, how many homos get up?
Two.
In my book. That's all you can say, man. You don't know. You know, unless you catch them in an act like that. You understand what I'm saying? But if he said, Puff said that he laid down with Stevie J and two men lay down, two homos get up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a quote, man. And if I'm not mistaken, Stevie J, he was with you the night Big got killed, right?
Yeah, Stevie J was there. Stevie J was there. And as soon as Big died, he was supposed to get on a plane with us, with them, and go to New York. He rushed to Faith Hotel. Rushed just to the hotel. He was wearing my cross and my chain, right? I said, Stevie, I'm not selling you my cross got blessed. He said, let me wear it. I said, yo, okay, bruh. He gave me $1,500 for the chain and then never paid me for the cross. Ended up giving Faith the cross and the chain to give to little Chris.
And Gene didn't stop there. He said some of these parties had people who didn't even belong there, young folks, executives, celebs, some regular people, to no phones, no cameras, just secrets. One thing Gene said that had people shocked, Diddy's own mother, Janice Calmas, may have attended these parties. Let that sink in.
Or a relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know, but they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off, she was ever at that type of party, but you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off parties. This is the same dude, bruh, that used to disrespect his mother. So I seen the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing it and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burrows, Kirk told me after I straightened his out for cussing his mama out. His mother came in the limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, didn't I tell you to stay out my business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna beat the out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us treating your mama like that.
Jane said as she was there at 70 years old, she was just like the rest of them. The freaks come out at night. That's a direct quote. He also said she was known to date younger men, not a crime, but in that context, kind of weird. This isn't just a family situation. Anymore, it paints a picture of Diddy's whole circle, including people like Stevie J, as being part of something way deeper and darker. Now let's rewind to a different scandal, the death of the Notorious B.I. In 1997, Biggie was killed in L.A., and it's still one of the biggest mysteries in hip-hop. Recently, Stevie J spoke on what happened that night. He made it sound like just a regular night. But Jane Deal wasn't having that.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs was on the scene of one of the most high-profile rapper assassinations in history. He launched a record label that dominated the charts and redefined the rap genre, along with a clothing line and a cable channel. If you're thinking someone should really make a documentary about his life, he's already beat you to it.
Clark Kent. Clark Kent, the DJ, who was also a vice president of Motown Records at one time, said, I was in Big's room that night before he got and I asked him what he was going to do. He said, D-Rock and Puff set this party up for me to go to. You understand? I carried that stuff on my heart for years because I thought I had let him down, because I thought that I could stop Big from going to that party. You understand? There's nothing I could do to stop him from going to the party. So now we at the place, I see Chris Lattimore. I say, yo, we got like 23 people with us. I watch all 23 guys go through the door. They stopped right there. They took us up the escalator. They put us into a section in the back to the left where cars was at. You understand? Puff say, bring me all the bottles you got left. So Puff, they brought all the bottles that they had left in the back. Puff took like that, then they just start partying. Big didn't have no smoke. He told Little C's, yo, C's, go find me some smoke. So Little C's went and found some girls who had some smoke. They came over and they start smoking. So I'm behind Big. I'm looking at, it's a lot of bloods and everything up in there. So I take my gun and I put it behind my back, and I kept my arms behind my back with my gun out.
You're standing like that?
Huh?
So I would know if you're standing like that.
Yeah.
You're standing like that.
Yeah, I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like this with my hands behind my back.
You have a suit, you have a jacket, what do you got on?
No, I got a Mecca Audio black shirt with the number 4.
Okay. So I can tell that you're carrying. If the average guy's gonna know you're carrying. Okay, right. Got it. Right. And you're behind Big at this time.
Big.
Okay, I'm tracking.
Big. They say they're about to close the place.
What time is it at this time?
Probably about 11:45, close to 12 o'clock, something like that. And they about to close the place. So then I said to one of the dudes, Paul, I said, yo, Paul, you good? He said, yeah, I'm good. I said, here, hold this. And that was a Glock 26. I gave it to him. You understand? Because I had another weapon on. I had my personal weapon. My personal weapon on me, and I had a Glock 26. And I said, yo, hold this. I'll be right back. I went downstairs and got the cars and put them right in front of the door. Big car and our car. You know what I'm saying? So when Big comes out, because it's going to take him a long time to walk out, that we'll be right there. We didn't have to wait for the cars or anything. So Big comes out, everybody comes out, we walk, it's taking time, I go back upstairs, we walking real slow, because Big could barely walk. They was pushing him around Cali in a wheelchair. You understand? He didn't want that look when he went upstairs, so he came up on a cane. I think he had fractured or broken his fibula bones in his thighs or something like that. So he wait time, he gets in the car and everything like that. So then I'm thinking we ready to go. And we were supposed to be going to Steve Stout's house. Steve Stout was a producer. I don't know, he's some kind of bigwig or manager, producer, something like that. So Steve Stout, we supposed to be going to his house, but then I got a phone call because I had called Chaz. Because Chaz was already there. I didn't know where Chaz was at. Chaz was out there with the Black Hand Mob, with the crew. And I had told Chaz, I said, yo, Chaz, it's looking real shady up in here. So Chaz was coming from Steve Stout's house down to our house. Down to the Peterson Museum. So he said, yo, don't go up to y'all don't go to Steve Stout house. But what good is to tell Puff? So the 23 people that came in with us, it was only 12 of us leaving.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not gonna speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
Where did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with the I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, bleeding from the and that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true, you just heard it. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that's crazy. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know. It's something that I ain't see. A lot of people want to, because Gene Deal has spoken on certain things that I've heard, I have spoken on it. But then they were just trying to say, I know. No, I'm not scared to say what I heard. And if there's any truth to it, then it's truth to it. Let them find it. Things that I've saw or things that I've witnessed and been a part of, I've said it. I'm not afraid to say what I saw or what I didn't see. A lot of people want to make up. I don't make up things. When I say Puff go in the room with two girls, you understand, and another guy and a rapper, and then all of a sudden they cousin try to go in the room, I throw them up against the piano, they run out the room grabbing towels and they still had two girls in the room. But people want to make up a lot of and say what they want to say and flip it the way they want to flip it. I tell it like it is. But you got these guys, you got these people out here, man, you know what I'm saying? All is for entertainment, man. Some people want the truth, some people speak the truth. Some people don't even know the truth, it'll smack them dead in the face, brother. But I tell you one thing, it's from my mouth to God's ear. And all these clowns can say whatever they want to say. Like I'm just saying, he lived a rock and roll lifestyle when I was with him, bro. I don't know about his addiction and stuff like that. He was a totally different person, bro. When I try to tell people that, they don't understand that. He was probably doing some of those little snake, doing some things and stuff like that, but the magnitude and what he was doing with the freak off parties and all like that, I didn't experience that with him. That was not my experience with Diddy or Puffy or Puff Daddy. That wasn't my experience with him.
And you had no idea who Usher was when you heard about him?
I didn't know who Usher was at the time. It's all gonna come out some kind of way, bro. All this is God's, this is something that was put in place, and it was designed by God, brother, for all this to happen and go down like this.
Whatever someone does in their bedroom, that's what they do. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just here to say that I've never seen my man doing anything foul like they talking about.
None of it. All of it.
I've never seen it. I've known him for 29 years. And then it's like with guys like 50, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom cats like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you want to put me, I don't know if y'all saw the post where 50 posted about me. Of course you guys.
Yeah. 50 has been going after Diddy and everybody associated with him for months now, ever since the Cassie lawsuit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you can't brush under the rug. I don't see anybody reporting about what Tatted Up Holly said about him beating her up and about, you know what I'm saying, his other baby mom saying beating her up. I just look at it as, you know, he wants to bring the black community down worse than anyone else. How is that so? I said what I said on my post, and I'm standing on that too. Now, since he didn't accept what my offer to him, and he want to continue to be a comedian, why don't you go make some movies with Michael Blackson and don't talk about it?
Okay.
If you don't want to fight, if you don't want to donate to charity, donate the bread to charity and fight. Don't stop being a girl and talking about dudes. I find it funny that, you know, when they first try to crucify somebody, they go through the media first. And they're just flooded with lies and propaganda. I'm not concerned about this Curtis. I mean, this dude Curtis. You know what I'm saying? He's Uncle Tom, and that's just what it is. I'm gonna speak on 1,000% of what I know to be true about my guy. My spirits are up. He's spending time with his children and his mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm working out. You know, he's doing very well. I've known this guy for 29 years. See, I'm not just a guy off the internet trolling. I'm a first-hand witness.
And I hit it, and then I walked out, and I was the happiest guy in the world. So what do y'all think? Is Stevie J guilty of more than he's letting on? Was he just a party guest? Or was he part of something way more dangerous? Gan Deal isn't holding back. And if everything he's saying is true, then Stevie J's name might be the next one to hit the headlines, not as a musician or producer, but as a suspect. Is Gene telling the truth? Should Stevie J be investigated too? Or is this just one man trying to stir the pot? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and don't forget to share it. Until then, fam, keep it real.